What's up guys, welcome to Anarchy Garage. My name's Shep, that's Slater, and this is episode 1.
Episode 1 is our 1969 Mustang fastback, better known to us as the Anarchystang.
Yeah, throughout this episode you're going to see the entire transformation of the car. When we first got it, the car had been sat in a field for
nearly 20 years that we know of.
Yeah, so you can imagine just what sort of a state this thing was in.
Yeah, so when we unturfed the animals, we finally realised it was a lot worse than we thought it was.
Yeah,
Which you normally do.
Yeah, so what we've done is we've stripped the car down, sent it away at the moment for some shot blasting, just to see exactly what we're left with. Good metal, bad metal, damage, whatever we need, just so we can get an idea.
And then, because we don't want to do it, we're going to send it to somebody else to get them to panel it for us. And then the car will come back to us while we hunt for a donor car. Now, when we say a donor car, we're not putting a Ford in it. So Ford boys, don't run away. We're not putting an LS motor in it either. We are going to do something nobody's ever done before, that's for sure. We haven't found the exact car yet, but it will definitely be wild. Right, found this one online. So we're looking at potential donor cars at the moment. Found this online. It's accident damaged. I've checked the measurements on this, and the width wise is just about bang on for the Mustang. What do you reckon to the damage?
I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference for what we need. The only thing we'll obviously have to check damage for from the rear is the subframes.
Yeah, so we'll get underneath, check the subframes and stuff.
And any twisting.
I've dropped him a message, so we're just waiting for a response actually on whether this car's available or not. So yeah, fingers crossed. Right guys, we've just checked and the car we were looking at is available. So we are going to go and have a look at it, make sure it is as nice as we hope it is going to be. So yeah, let's hit the road and fingers crossed. Right guys, so we're in the car, we are on the way down to London. We are off to go have a look at our potential donor car. So we're going down in the mighty E63 Amg, so give that a bit of a run as well. Now we have been looking at a C63 AMG, but this has come off. Now the reason we're looking at a C63 AMG is the wheelbase is really similar and the width is really similar as well. So we wouldn't have actually ended up with too much to mess around with really.
The main reason as well that we didn't originally know or look at trying to get what is potentially going to be the donor car is one, the rarity of these cars, two, the price on the things is just phenomenal. But luckily someone smashed this one to bits.
Yeah, so thank you for smashing your car off, you random person.
Yeah, hopefully you've helped us out a massive amount with this.
Yeah. So we're actually off to go and have a look at an E63 Amg. Now this particular year is really special because he only made this engine for a very limited run. So this has a 5.5 twin turbo V8 in it.
So everybody that thought that a 63 engine in a Mustang was going to be mental, this is going to be on a completely different level. So yeah, we're very excited, looking forward to it, and we'll keep showing you bits of fun on the way.
Yeah, fingers crossed. We might be driving it next.
Yes! Yay! Smash guard! It held well.
Well, at least that held.
That did well. That didn't. Right. Slight anchor malfunction. We'll be right back.
Ready? guys, morning, welcome to Anarchy Garage. This is the Anarchystang behind, so we're going to take the wall down. The wall's been up for nearly a year, just to protect it while we get the donor car ready. Guys, down on the floor. First time she's going to come outside in well over a year. Definitely, well, probably more than that actually. Right, just a rundown of where we're up to at the moment. Some of the time-lapse and cameras kind of stopped working, so I'm filling a bit of a gap here. So the front end we've actually stripped down on the E-Class now. So we've taken obviously all the expansion tank out of the way, stripped down all the struts, actually cut all of the metal off around them as well. I've also tack welded the brace in as well, so the brace is going to basically give us our measurement and keep it exactly where it should be for when we transfer it over into the Mustang. So kind of going back over here, taking over to this. So engine is in place. We've actually cut the chassis rails out just down the sides as well. That's given us the clearance to actually get the engine in. It was only 1 inch on each side, and then we're going to reinforce it on the outside where the chassis rails are actually a bit wider. So you'll be able to see them just down there. Obviously there's still repairs to do on the bulkhead. We'll move on to that at the end. We'll actually steal a little bit of metal out of the E-Class as well for that. But yeah, progress is really good at the moment. Obviously once we've got the turrets out of the E-Class, we'll be away.
As you can see, there's been quite a lot more carnage has happened. If you look at the difference, spot the difference. Obviously the turret and the arm's gone now, and it's here. So what we've done is remove this now, which is obviously was in place over here. So we've cut all that out. Obviously not all of this we're going to be keeping and using, but it's better to have more than not enough. So this will obviously all be coming out. The only reason we're keeping hold of this is because we've still got all the subframe mounting points and everything. So obviously it's just going to make life a lot easier when the engine's actually connected all in and everything. Happy days from that. So we're going to be attacking this side next, exactly the same way that we've done that one really. So happy days.
Right, chassis legs, turrets are finally out of the E-Class. I'm absolutely chuffed about it, to be fair. Now the actual proper fabrication can start on the front. I didn't really want to be encroaching on this much wiring so early on, but oh well, such is life. So yeah, everything's cut out, all the loom is out of the engine bay, apart from a little bit over there and a few air conditioning pipes, but I'll move those last thing. I'm very forgetful, so I kind of don't want to forget where I put everything. So start stripping the turrets down next and getting those into there. So here's what I've been up to. Fully flushed. Yes, that's an evening's work, fully chopped out, all welded in. I'm just going to do a bit of grinding, get that all tidied up. I've keyed it in all the way down the edges as well. little bit of boxing to do on the front, but it's all along the edge there, all along the front, and it is as tough as it gets. It has even strengthened that for me as well. Here's the lowdown for this evening then. I'm going to start actually putting the inner wall in that. So I'm going to finish off the boxing, and then I'm actually going to put the panel all the way across as well. I've already started measuring and cutting for, which is just down here. So I'm going to cut that out and then weld it into there. Here she is, literally mounted. So there is that wonderful E63 Amg engine on its own suspension underneath 1969 Mustang. Right, next job, I'm going to do a bit of labelling all around the heater box and try and actually get it out of the car. Then I can move it over to the Mustang and see if it actually fits. I think this is actually going to be the real staple point. This is going to be a tough fit. But once that's in, the rest of the loom can move. So we're kind of over the worst hurdle then. Bit of a funny stage I'm at the moment. Kind of a little bit nervous because this actually has a massive impact on how the car's going to kind of be inside. At the minute, I'm going to swing around here. I'm actually just about to tack weld the dash in place. So as you can see, it's lying backwards on itself just there. I've made all the bracketry and stuff for it to actually go into the car. I've just got to kind of position it, tack weld it in, and then weld it in properly. Well, to say I'm chuffed right now is an understatement, and the reason is, look at that. That is the first E63 AMG dash in a classic Mustang ever in the world. I am absolutely chuffed, and the fit is just mega, way beyond what I ever anticipated. So yeah, absolutely buzzing. Right, bit of an idea I've had. When everything's detached, it's not quite, I'm just on the rear seat occupancies at the moment, so I'm up to about here at the boot lid, and then I'm pretty much all the way back from the front. When I've done that, my weird epiphany is I'm actually going to throw a carpet across the centre of the car. The reason being, I'm going to roll the wiring loom up with it, which I'm hoping will do two things. One, I can move it on my own, because I'm obviously here on my own at the moment, and then the other thing is, I'm hoping it'll mean that nothing gets broken, it'll be easy to transfer, I know which end's the front, I know which end's the back, everything's sided, obviously everything's labelled, but it means less tangling. So yeah, fingers crossed that works. As you've seen, just removed all the wiring loom with a bit of help from my partner. We've used carpet, never tried that before. Rolled it up from the back all the way to the front, up to the bulkhead, and then wraps the engine wiring loom around it as well. So we've tried to keep everything as plugged together as I possibly can. Never tried this way, as I say, but fingers crossed when we dunk it in the Mustang, start the bulkhead, roll it back, everything should be approximately in the right place if my plan has worked out okay. Now comes the bit I've not been looking forward to. In all honesty, I've been putting this bit off. I've now got to climb underneath the E-Class where it's sat on the trolley and actually cut the floor out the back of it to do the subframe for underneath the Mustang. So yeah, not a pleasant job. I have really been putting this off. Obviously it's climbing underneath there, which is just not a nice place to be while you're grinding and cutting, especially when the floor's going to land on you at some point. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do now, so enjoy. So at the moment it is a rolling shell, so this axle is tack welded in place. I've measured for 3 days to get it to this point, but I can finally, I think, say it's at least close enough. It's been a bit of a mind boggle, but I've measured it from every single angle I can possibly think of, and I'm going to go with it. That's where it is. So more welding, more plating, I can start cracking on with it. Bit of a rundown of this evening's antics. So I've had 3 days measuring up. It has been very long, laborious, but hopefully well worth it. As you'll see here, I've been welding in the floor. So what I've been doing is I've used big 3mm thick plates all the way around the edge, especially for the jacking points, chassis points and that kind of thing. The subframe mounts down in the corner where I've joined onto the chassis, again all 3mm plate. I've used a bit of thinner stuff here just to get rid of some of these nasty holes and rips. They were created basically, it's very thin metal. Now when I took some of the floor out, I wanted to clean the look up. When I took them out, drilled all the welds, everything just split. It was really thin, cheap metal. It was horrible. But yeah, getting some strength back into it. Still got my crossbars in, not quite confident enough to take those out yet, but I'm sure that time will come. Right guys, I'm going to get the car down and on the floor, start putting the wiring loom into place, start making some earth points for it, start putting some of the sensors in and some of the modules that are dotted around the car. Right, so my new fuel tank is here. You've seen me build the frame around it. I'm now going to double skin that, link that into the back of the E-Class floor as well. The reason I'm going to skin it from underneath and over the top as well is just for added strength. I know the tank doesn't need the strength, but it's another way of linking the floor into the car as well. As you'll see, this tank is absolutely mega. It was built by Ellis Fabrications. He's put the E-Class fuel pumps into this tank for me, so it sits where the original Mustang tank did. It's also obviously got the filler in the middle, which links into the original one as well, which is really cool. The benefit of that is obviously when I plug this wiring loom in, everything's going to work, which is a really big positive for it. So the CAN bus will work, the fuel level sensor in the dash will work, and it just looks awesome as well. So I'm not kind of losing anything from it, and it keeps the whole job really simple. These are a temporary exhaust I had built up, so these have two O2 sensors in them, so these just plug in up here, but it allows the engine to actually run. Otherwise, as soon as it starts up, it just cuts out again. So I'm going to put these in place for now, just for a bit of running up, make sure everything's working as it should do. But yeah, these are a pretty gnarly bit of kit to go underneath. Right guys, just going to show you a little trick with this. So as you see, I've wrapped blue roll around the entrance to where the oil goes in. The reason I've done that, if you do get any overspill, it's really handy because it just catches those few dribbles. The other thing I want to show you is if you tip the can sideways when you do this, you end up with a much better pour on it. So you can see it lets the air into the bottle and it allows a nice smooth stream. If you tilt it from the ends or forwards, that's when it glugs and actually pours all over your engine. If nobody's ever told you, you won't know. To some people I know that sounds really simple, but if you don't know, it just, or you don't think about it, it really does make a difference. Right, just gotta find some fuel now, so I might go and steal it from the mower, and then it's ready for startup. Right guys, so this is it. This is gonna be the first startup. So I've just topped obviously the oil up, I've done the water, I've done the gearbox, checked all the electrics and stuff, I've got ignition, I've had a little plug-in as well, and everything's kind of doing what it should be doing. A lot of engine lights, things like broken bulbs and things like that, but obviously nothing's plugged in with that. So yeah, let's give it a whirl, see what we've got. key. Key is always helpful. So as ever, big shout out to 11s who have helped us from the start with this. So please check out their website, have a look at their clothing. They support us, so make sure you support them as well. Right, so here we go, let's crank it. So I'm going to prime the fuel pump a couple of times as well.
Superheroes crashing through the wall isn't going to help anyone. Frontline landed emergency attitude, obviously. We're on it to send a rather...
Right, so the fuel's through. You ready?
Mustang with an E63 engine in it. Wow.
I'd call that a successful startup. Well, that's it, guys, for the end of episode 1. So thanks for joining us.
Yeah, get yourselves ready now for episode 2, where you're going to see this thing driving.